Well, after the depression of a 3-game losing streak and some horrendous technical difficulties on our part, it's good to finally be back. I'm Brady Frederick.
And I'm Henry Lenhart. Welcome to Cougar Sports Desk.
Nearly a perfect football weekend. The Cougs won, the Huskies lost, Minshew won with the Jags, but unfortunately the Seattle Seahawks continue to get outcoached every weekend and couldn't come up with the win over the Ravens.
Yeah, the Hawks are still terrible. It's not new news.
You can go ahead and go back to Arizona. Anyways, this show is all about the Cougs, so we can table Russell Wilson's wasted potential for another time. Back to what matters. The losing streak is over. Washington State gets their first conference win and is back above 500.
And as we take a look at the Colorado game, you can always count on the Alvarado, Colorado native, Mad Max Borghi, to have a big game. And that's exactly what happened. He ran for 105 yards on 12 carries, caught 9 passes for 57 yards, and had 2 touchdowns. Borghi now has over 500 rush yards on the year and is eyeing the 1,000-yard mark.
And another key addition to the offense, Brandon Arconato. He's been injured since the Utah game, and now that he's back, the Cougs' air raid receiving corps is back up to 100%. He wasted no time getting on the board. He led the team in receiving with 109 yards on just 5 catches, one of them going all the way down the field for a 76-yard touchdown.
Another bright side to the Colorado game was the return of a competent defense. The defensive backs faced heavy scrutiny after giving up various big plays, specifically Arizona State's game-winning drive 2 weeks ago. Now the team looks like a cohesive unit, grabbing 3 interceptions and only giving up a few explosive plays to Colorado. There's definitely room for improvement, but the team is headed in the right direction.
And lastly, the Cougs did not let the weather play any role in the outcome of the game. If you stayed the entire game, and don't lie to me, you left before the second half, you noticed the constant downpour of rain with temperatures just barely above freezing. Regardless, the Cougs were unfazed and did not see any difference in drops or missed tackles.
Now the Cougs are on to Oregon, and we'll have more on that at the end of our broadcast.
This week, Coach Leach joked that he wants to wear face scarves to prevent opposing teams from reading his play calls on the sidelines. He noted that it would provide an extra opportunity for Oregon to plaster the Nike logo all over everything, and that other schools could get creative with it. Big opportunities for Leach to express himself with maybe some Cougar teeth, or simply to write Texas Tech still owes me $10 million on the front. As news of Leach's plans circulated throughout the media, all Washington State football broadcasts have now been banned in China. Very unfortunate.
As the NFL season continues, WSU alumni continue to do big things. Gardner Minshew snagged another win as he continues to steal the hearts in his campaign as the people's quarterback. And Andre Dillard made his first NFL start. Unfortunately, Luke Falk is no longer seeing the bright lights of the NFL, but the Jets are not looking any better without him.
Yes, Sam Darnold was on the wrong end of a shutout, tossing 4 interceptions and fumbling once while recording a QBR of 1.9. The only other player in NFL history to throw 4 more interceptions with less than 100 passing yards? Yep, you guessed it, Bills legend Nathan Peterman.
It's great to see the USC and UCLA rivalry still going strong after all these years. Now they get to argue over whose quarterback is worse. Is it Sam Darnold, who is getting tortured by the Jets O-line, or is it Josh Rosen, the quarterback who got benched on the worst team in the NFL?
WSU Baseball broke ground on their new clubhouse on Saturday. The $10 million facility intends to improve recruiting, bringing WSU up to the same standards as other Pac-12 schools. This is an attempt to draw attention from top-tier recruits. Athletic Director Pat Chun said this is one of many groundbreaking ceremonies to expect coming up. Next on his agenda, bribing God $25 million in an attempt to fix Pullman's horrendous baseball weather.
That's all the recent news. Now, let's look ahead for this week's matchup against the University of Nike.
Yes, the Mighty Duck. Washington State has had their number for the previous 4 seasons, and there's not a single player on Oregon's roster who has ever experienced beating the Cougars. However, this year, they're coming into the game with a quality loss to Auburn and a number 11 ranking in the AP poll. They have a dominant defense, but it's criminally overlooked by the most overrated quarterback in the entire FBS.
Ah, yes. Good old Justin Herbert. He will put our defense to the test, but as in past years, Oregon, instead of cougging it, has been ducking it up lately. especially like last year when College Game Day came to Pullman and made Herbert realize he is no better than a sack of potatoes. So now, Gordon is primed to steal the spotlight and have a big numbers just like Minshew did last year. And even though it's an away game, we're still going to rush the field and make every Oregon fan question every decision they have ever made.
Yes, and despite Oregon's stellar play so far this season, it's really hard to be afraid of a duck. Because the NCAA would not allow Oregon to make their logo a Nike swoosh, they chose the fierce aquatic bird. With the Beavers on the other side of the state, it really just feels like the Oregon schools just picked their mascots out of a hat. Couple that with a very creative yellow O, Oregon does a great job reminding the rest of the world how many national championships they have despite being a premier football program.
Oregon's premier program is anything that has to do with running, and I bet you that football team will be running off the field crying at the end of regulation.
Well, we will see if tradition holds up or if Oregon's hype is real this season. I'd love to see Washington State knock the Ducks down in the polls and gain some much-needed momentum to finish out the season. And the way the Pac-12 has been going this year, you really never know. But let's move on and talk about bowls. With the win over Colorado last week, Washington State only needs 2 more wins to become bowl eligible. And with Oregon State on the schedule, it really feels like they only need 1 more win. So, Henry, where do you see the Cougs landing in postseason?
I see them at the Sun Bowl against Miami. I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I think it's going to be a good game.
It'd be a rematch of 2015.
Yeah, definitely would. Maybe this year we could take their turnover chain and bring that back as a trophy.
That would be incredible. That'd be a good way to end a tumultuous season, but it'd be a good result in the end.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if it's not against the U, I want to see Washington State in the Las Vegas Bowl going against Boise State University.
That's a great game, dude. Boise State, couple matchups in the past few seasons.
Yeah, over the last couple years, we've played them twice, and we've been even, 1-1. Both incredible games.
Oh, yeah.
One of those, the 21-point comeback led by Tyler Helinski with 8 minutes left in the fourth. Incredible play either way. Boise State is one of those schools that I wish was our rival. I wish we got to play them every year.
Good rival.
Unfortunately, their school's academics are just so atrocious that the Pac-12 will not let them join.
Yeah.
So, we got to take what we can get, and I think this would be a great matchup to see.
100%.
Well, that's all the time we have for our show tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday with all of your recaps, highlights, and previews.
For Brady Frederick and everyone here in Studio A, I'm Henry Lenhart. So see you next time. And as always,
Go Cougs!